of our heart should never be taken lightly. That's why we chose Biology Form 4, Chapter 10.6, which connects closely to the third Sustainable Development Goal, good health and well-being.
Did you know cardiovascular diseases are the #1 cause of death in the world every year? According to the World Heart Federation, about 17.8 million people die from them every year. That's 31% of all deaths around the world. The heart is one of the most important organs in our body. It works non-stop to pump oxygen, blood, and nutrients to keep us alive. Having a healthy heart means we have the energy to study, play, work, and enjoy life. That's why it's so important to understand cardiovascular disease. There aren't just one single disease. There are different types that affect the heart and blood vessel in different ways. Let's look at them more closely.
Imagine having a pile of sand gradually building up in your blood vessels. This is what atherosclerosis is like. Atherosclerosis is the formation and deposition of plaque on the artery walls. Arteries are blood vessels that carry oxygen-rich blood to organs and tissues throughout your body. The plaque is formed from cholesterol, lipid, dead muscle tissues, and coagulated platelets. Eventually, as the plaque grows, it will clog and narrow the lumen in blood vessels, leaving less room for blood to flow. This means less blood can reach your organs and tissues. Also, the constant force of blood flow can lead to plaque erosion or rupture, causing a blood clot to form.
Now imagine the pile of sand has cement poured on top of it and hardens over time. This is called arteriosclerosis. Arteriosclerosis is the early stage of arteriosclerosis. Arteriosclerosis means hardening of the arteries. Arteriosclerosis occurs when calcium is deposited on the plaque and causes the plaque to harden. This will affect the artery to become hard and lose its elasticity. Arteriosclerosis is a gradual process that occurs over many years. It can be dangerous because it develops silently. You may have no symptoms for a long time until the hardening of your arteries leads to complications.
The restricted blood flow from arteriosclerosis will cause hypertension. Hypertension is when the force of blood pushing against your artery walls is consistently too high. The heart has to work harder to pump blood. In general, hypertension is a blood pressure reading of 130 per 80 millimeter of mercury or higher. 180 or 120 millimeter of mercury is considered a hypertensive emergency or crisis.
A stroke is when part of the brain is suddenly damaged because it isn't getting enough blood or because bleeding happens inside the brain. There are two main types of stroke: an ischemic stroke, which happens when a blood vessel in the brain is blocked by a thrombus, which is a blood clot that forms inside a vessel and stays attached to it. Second, hemorrhagic stroke, which is caused by the bursting of a blood vessel in the brain. Some symptoms of a stroke are trouble speaking, understanding others, numbness, or paralysis of the body. Now you may wonder, how can I know when to see a doctor? The answer is to seek immediate medical attention if you notice any symptoms of a stroke, even if they seem to come and go or disappear completely. Think fast. Face. Does one side droop when smiling? Arms. Ask them to raise both arms. Does one drift down or fail to rise? Speech. Is their speech different from usual? Time. If you see any of these signals, call emergency help right away. Don't wait. Every minute counts.
Just as a stroke happens when the brain is deprived of oxygen, angina occurs when the heart muscle doesn't receive enough oxygen to function properly. When the artery that narrows is the coronary artery, also known as the main vessel supplying the heart, the reduced oxygen flow to the heart muscle triggers angina. The pain often feels like pressure, tightness, and can spread to the arms, neck, back, or jaw. It usually happens during physical activity, stress, or even after a heavy meal. Millions of people experience angina every year. Angina is a heart attack, but it's a very serious warning sign that one could develop. But while angina signals that the heart is under stress, a complete blockage of blood flow to the heart muscle leads to something far more severe, which is a myocardial infarction, commonly known as a heart attack.
Myocardial infarction is the last stage of cardiovascular diseases and is the most dangerous form of acute coronary syndrome. It strikes suddenly and severely, often becoming life-threatening if not treated quickly. Early detection and urgent treatment are essential to prevent permanent heart damage. Warning signs may appear beforehand but are often overlooked. Common symptoms include chest pain or pressure that can spread to the arm, shoulder, or back. Also, shortness of breath, cold sweats, fainting, and sometimes discomfort mistaken for heartburn. If left untreated, it can escalate rapidly and ultimately leading to the most devastating outcome, death.
When there's a will, there's a way. Many of these problems can be prevented if we take care of our health. Simple steps like exercising regularly, eating balanced meals, avoiding too much junk food, not smoking, and managing stress can make a huge difference in our lives. Early checkups are also important because they can catch problems before they become serious or even life-threatening. A healthy heart helps us live longer, happier, and more active lives. So it's worth protecting every single day. After all, our heart is the engine that keeps us going, and once it stops, so does everything else.
In the end, the message is simple. Our heart is our life.
Every heartbeat reminds us how important it is to take care of it.
Just as we make today can shape a healthier and a brighter tomorrow.
Let's remember, every beat truly matters.